Hey guys, it's Bex here, and I'm back with my good friend Mike Perrine from Everyday Detox. You asked, and we are answering, why aren't you pooping? Find out all the dirty details on constipation and the best methods for pooping for your health. Watch the video and let us know what you think.
The first question I have for us today is, why can't I poop? So after they have exhausted all of the things that they have Googled, why are they still not pooping? What are some constipation cures and methods for better pooping? And I have something so exciting to share that I'm going to bring out.
Do you want to start with that?
I think I want to. Can my trusty cameraman please bring in the product I am so excited about? First, I want to talk about quickly how the universe really does conspire to make your dreams come true. So if you speak something, even privately, things
I know
get
what
done.
this is.
I texted you. I'm so excited. Oh, thank you. I texted you the words squatty potty. It was just a text, right?
Yeah, why did you text me that?
I don't know.
It wasn't in relation to this.
It wasn't. Well, no, it was about the squatty potty.
Oh, okay. I thought that you just made it up.
No.
Okay.
So I texted squatty potty to you, and not even 72 hours later, I get followed by squatty potty on Instagram. Like, they didn't see our private text. I hope they didn't.
No, I didn't.
and it was so cool. Because squatty potty is something that I fantasize about for a long time, about owning. I had been using a nursing stool and then her step stool for her to wash her hands and brush her teeth when I used the bathroom. And Squatty Potty has actually invented or created this beautiful, this is their new model. They have like a different white model that's a little bit more bathroom looking. This is designer Squatty Potty. So they followed me and I was like, oh my gosh, I was just talking about this with my friend Everyday Detox. Okay, before anyone gets mad at me, this is how it works. When you have a lot of followers on the internet and you say you like a product, they send it to you for free. So full disclosure, this came for free because I asked them for it. So Squatty Potty sent us 2 Squatty Potties. I'm so excited. And I'm really excited. I'm like really jacked up over this. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity to talk more about proper pooping methods, proper pooping technique, in addition to the dietary things that we have to do to make sure that our system is running well. So let's riff on it.
You're the only person I'm going to do this for.
Oh,
because
come on.
People ask me
you love talking about poop.
I do not. People ask me over the years all the time, could you write a blog about poop and the size and the shape and the smell? And I'm like, nope.
Okay, we don't have to do like the whole size, shape, smell. There's an app for that, actually.
You know why?
It's called the Poop app.
Look, I've worked in detox work. Primarily, it has to do with elimination. It has to do with, and I've been a colonic therapist for 12 years. And I did an interview for somebody a long time ago. Do you remember when like the teleseminars were a big thing? I did like a recorded telephone thing.
No, they're still huge.
They're still doing that?
Telesummits are huge.
Well, I did one of those for somebody, and she put when she created the blog post, there's a picture of a roll of toilet paper, and that was the first image that came up when you Googled my name, and I was like, no more poop stuff. I'm not going to be the poop guru, but somehow I am the poop guru.
It's like your job.
There's a lot more to the work.
There's a lot, but something that listen, if we really want to talk to the masses, we have to identify with them on a base level, okay? And something that we do every single day that is so important to our health and such an indicator of good health is poop.
It is.
And we should be doing it every day.
That's why I became a colonic therapist, because I was working with doing nutritional work and working as a chef, and that was important. But it was Gil Jacobs who taught me that health has more to do with elimination than it does what you're actually putting in. And I was
let's talk about it.
We're going to talk about
it. Let's not be so, high on our horses.
So what are we talking about here? We're talking about...
But first, why can't... And this is the problem with these questions that we get, because we really don't know what you're doing in your day every day. We don't know your diet. We don't know your habits. So it's hard to say why you can't poop specifically. But the easiest way to go poop every day... And then I want to get into this. I really want to talk about, well, not this specifically, but more like, why we're not pooping well.
Oh,
so
you
what
want
can
me
we
to
do
take
every
that?
day? Yeah.
Well, there's so many different variables.
Oh,
but
where do I go with that?
Number one is hydration. Okay, so you have to be hydrated, because the first place your body's going to pull water out to bring it into the organs if you're dehydrated is going to be whatever's remaining in your intestines. So it's going to pull things out, and then things are going to start to get hard. And even if you're eating raw foods and salads and stuff, you can get constipated. Okay.
So quickly
If you're
though on
dehydrated.
hydration, what do you think about the formula of taking half of the number of pounds? So I'm 150 pounds, and then I take 75. Should I be drinking 75 ounces a day? Like, what do you think about that formula?
It's kind of cool because we like guidelines, but really it depends. Like I always tell people, I'm like, well, are you athletic? Do you run in Miami or do you run in Vermont? And
Okay.
like, you know, like how much are you sweating? How much are you moving? What are your demands for water? And what else are you eating? Because if someone's just eating, like, let's say, okay, let's take like people that do like an 80-10-10 kind of thing, right? And they do all this fruit and stuff like that. They're probably going to need less water. They still need water, but they're going to need so much less water than a coffee drinker, meat and potatoes person, cereal eater, or someone that's eating foods that suck water out of the body to begin with.
Okay.
So I drink very little water on a day where, you know, the first half of my day is just like raw juices and,
Right.
you know, and fruit. I mean,
Right.
I don't need to drink tons and tons of water.
Right.
But when I used to eat like Egg McMuffins and stuff like that, like, oh God, I'd be like guzzling water by noon because I'd be all dehydrated.
And if you were eating Egg McMuffins, that could be a problem with your poop.
Yeah, so that's the other part. So it's hydration, and then of course it's what kind of food are you eating. So we need high fiber food, and we need raw fiber food too.
Okay.
So
Raw fiber food, not Fiber One bars.
yeah, well,
We can say that here.
Here's the interesting thing too, though. I mean, you know, Cheerios makes people go to the bathroom, and it lowers cholesterol because it has a lot of fiber that'll absorb excess cholesterol out of the body.
Okay.
So that stuff works. I mean, you could take powdered fibers, but I don't think that it's as good. I just think it
Okay.
gets bulky and stuff like that. There's a whole other holistic thing that happens with food. So
Okay.
eating apples, some of the greatest foods, the broom salads and the broom smoothies are phenomenal. So the broom salads are basically, and you don't have to follow a formula for this,
And
but
broom meaning it's sweeping things out of your
it's
system.
sweeping things out of the system.
Okay.
Yeah. Grated carrots, cabbage,
Yes.
grated carrots, cabbage, celery, fennel, radishes, things like that. They really help to sweep things out. Where like, you know, sprouts and baby lettuces are all nutritious and great, and baby spinach is fantastic, but it's you know, it's not as powerful of a absorbent in a broom as those other foods.
So you're going to give me, not right now in this video, but you're going to give me a recipe for your broom juice. And I
Smoothies. Yeah.
Oh, broom smoothie, even better. Because
Yes.
then I'm actually going to make it. I think I've done it before. I think that's how you got me started on pineapple. Don't give it to me now. And I'm going to make a broom smoothie graphic for everyone. You can just click on the link below, and it's going to go to Pinterest, and you can share that on Pinterest.
No, for the podcast listeners, I'm going to give it right now.
No, you're not.
Pineapple, apple, celery, and fennel. Blend those up. There's an actual little recipe I have for it. And I
Okay.
throw some dates in there and some water and stuff like that. But those vegetables in particular are great at sweeping things through the body.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. So, of course, that has to do with the quality of what you're eating. Now, there's other components to this. One is structural, and that's where this squatty potty thing comes in. We're actually designed to squat. We're not designed to sit on a toilet. When you sit on the toilet, the very bottom and the base of the colon, my fingers are so purple. The base of the colon, it kind of gets a little bit constricted and it closes shut. It's so much harder to go to the bathroom. Most people don't know anything else.
Right.
Okay. That's what all this reading a book in the toilet thing is about, and sitting there for a long time. And all these, when you watch like old Monty Python movies and stuff, they always have some guy like going, like, you know, making all this noise in the bathroom. That's all a result of eating foods that are constipating and sitting on a toilet. When you squat, stuff drops out of your body and you're out of there.
Right.
You're not spending any time in the bathroom. You're not even going to be able to read an Instagram post and you're getting out of the bathroom.
That's where I meditate, Mike.
In the toilet.
Sometimes.
But that's actually squatting. These benches here, what they do is they help to bring your knees a little closer to your chest.
So in a lot of Asian countries, they're still squatting. They'll just have a hole in the floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they make nice toilets in the floor. They're
Right,
not
right.
always, you know, and they have little foot pads and you actually squat there and they have it right. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
But here, for people who do not sit, okay, can we talk? Can we get a little intimate
You want to talk
here?
shop? Yeah, let's talk,
Okay,
let's get
so
into it.
you do something funny, which I don't even want you using the bathroom in my house.
The way you describe it, it's funny. I squat on the toilet.
You stand on the
I don't
toilet.
stand on your toilet. I'm not standing up.
Your feet are on the toilet seat.
Yes.
Yes. So you're actually climbing up on the toilet like a monkey and squatting into the hole. So for people who do not want to do that, risk life and limb and fall over and crack their head because they're balancing atop a slick surface, they could sit on the toilet and use the squatty potty, and that will raise the knees up and get you in better alignment for elimination.
Right. Some people can't squat on there, but I have to tell you, when you
people should not squat on there.
They should. You know what they had? Okay, this is what they have in
so weird.
In some of like the homes in India where they have like foreigners that visit and stuff like that. They have a toilet and they have like wings on the side and they're foot pads, so you could actually squat or you can sit if you're like if you're more Western and you don't want to do that.
This is America.
Yeah, well, we should be squatting here.
We should be squatting. No, when I would have a colonic at your place, then I would go and I would actually stand on the toilet there to, finish out the colonic process. And it's fine. It's not terribly weird. I'd be willing to do it, but I don't think that most of the people watching this video on the BEXLIFE channel, not your podcast,
right,
will be okay with that.
Podcast listeners should be squatting. Talking about some advanced stuff.
Podcast listeners squat. BEXLIFE people, you can use the squatty potty or any kind of stool that raises your legs up.
Yeah, if you actually made it to this podcast and you're listening to the podcast, it means you're better than that, and it means that you're doing some next level shitting, and you need to.
You are a terrible person.
And you need to be squatting. It's been amazing for like the past 20 years of squatting, like what it's done to my hips and everything. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really good. I stand when I come here. I just stand up and I just drop it in.
The act of squatting.
Sweet you are.
Interesting side. Oh, we have a dinosaur visiting us. Come on in. Squatting is actually the best exercise, better than Kegels, for women to do to help with incontinence or to prevent incontinence and strengthen the pelvic floor. And that's so interesting because the number 1 and 2 causes of women going into nursing homes are incontinence and not being able to get up and down, like get up and down from bed or get up and down from a seat, and squatting helps with that. So squatting is something that you should do as an exercise every single day. And you could start by doing it while you go to the bathroom.
You're right on the bed. Now this thing is great though. This is good, and this is a good start. This is good for people that can't squat for whatever reason. So this is cool. This is one of the better ones that I've actually seen. Like it looks cool. It looks
it's
good.
Pretty.
Yeah, it looks it looks like something from like a child's kindergarten room. You know how they have like these little wooden tables and chairs?
Yes, it does. It does.
So this is very cool. I've seen some horrible looking ones.
And it has a happy face.
Yeah.
We like that. It's a good crew though. I'm not getting paid to say any of this. I just got a squatty potty. So.
Yeah, and I didn't get any squatty potties.
They
sent
us 2 squatty potties. One was for you.
Oh, one was for me?
Yeah, you can bring it home on the subway.
Oh, what do I need that for? I'm going to squat.
Because you stand on the toilet. That's okay. I can use an extra. I have a bunch of bathrooms. I'm really excited about the squatty potty because the people were so cool to work with. And that's always like an extra factor that I consider when I'm promoting something, especially if it's, if they're not paying me, frankly. Yeah. So they were nice. So I like them. It was a fun crew. They have a good sense of humor over there at the squatty potty headquarters.
Another thing on the squatting thing is that this is one of the things to get people to go to the bathroom. So the reason I even got introduced to colonic work is because I was in a relationship with someone that was having a hard time with constipation. Surprise, a woman with constipation problems, right? So she was having a hard time. She started going for colonics. And one of the things that, and Gil Jacobs was her colonic therapist, and that's where I met him. One of his recommendations is he was like, squat on the toilet every day, even if you don't have to go. You want to go in the morning, hang out there, read a book, do whatever. And over 15, 20 minutes, eventually her body would kick in and it would go, oh, it's time, because everything was in place. And then she would start going to the bathroom. She did that every day, and then things started to kick in. Plus she did a lot of colonic work and diet changes and stuff like that. But sitting and squatting is a great way to start signaling your body to go to the bathroom.
So it's about hydration. Number 1, hydrate. Number 2, eat foods that are that lend themselves to proper elimination, high fiber foods, raw fiber foods. And then number 3, do not eat foods that are going to stop up the work. So meat, dairy,
fiberless foods, highly processed starches, things that are just like cement in the intestine.
Right. And then number 4, technique, squat.
That's it.
Squat or pretend squat.
Now, the other little side of that is there are emotional factors that get involved. I've known people that can only go to the bathroom on the colonic table. And their bowels are working perfectly because once we stimulate it with the water, everything works. But for some reason when they're out in the world, they're having a hard time. And sometimes it's like an emotional thing that people have to work through.
Also environmental factors, like say you're dating someone and you are, out with them or in their apartment, you may or may not be able to poop because because they're around.
Nobody poops in new relationships.
No, give it at least 6 months.
They just fart in the stairwell all the way home when they leave the apartment. But
my older sister just celebrated her 27th wedding anniversary, and she has never pooped when her husband was home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
They're still together. 27 years.
This is what babies do. They put their fingers in their mouth, and the reason we want to chew on our hands is intentional because we want to touch the earth and expose ourselves to bacteria and strengthen ourselves.
Who's making that up?
I'm not making that up. Did you ever see the movie Babies? And you remember that African baby was like chewing on rocks and stuff? And like, I'm not saying we should give our kids rocks, but that child probably has a kick-ass immune system, really good probiotics in its intestines, and it's connected to the planet. They're healing bowel cancers and I think inflammatory bowel diseases too by inserting baby poop into people's intestines.
I poop on your butthole.
So you want to...